Just from a purely emotional perspective, what has this series been like and the 2 wins, the way that you guys have won?
Huge. And, you could see it with the way guys celebrated. Alvarez on day one and then Winker there with that last swing. Look, huge series for us, especially winning 2 games the way we did it, walk-off homers, and against a really good team. Both times we had the lead and we lost it late in the game, and then we were able to find a way. And this is all about finding ways to win games, and we did it this time.
Jesse Winker is one of those guys that has a great eye at the plate. What stands out to you about his approach in that moment where it comes in as a pinch hitter, falls behind 0-2, is able to work his way back into a full count, and then ultimately hit the home run?
Yeah, that's what makes him such a good hitter, because he knows the strike zone, doesn't chase as much, and he's got that ability to impact the baseball. We were on the other side early in the year when he was with the Nationals, and one swing cost us a game. And today, obviously, 0-2, like you said, against a pretty good arm, and then to be able to fight back and finally get a pitch. And I thought it was a line drive, maybe a double, but then that thing just kept on going. Really good hitter, and a big swing for us, for him, and we needed that.
Peter?
What was working so well today for Minaya?
Everything. The fastball, even though the velo wasn't there the first couple of innings, he was 90, 91, but then we saw some 94, 95. But I think everything was working. The hit by pitch, and then first pitch right down the middle that Slater hit for a 2-run homer. But the changeup was good, the sweeper was good, the live on the fastball, he was throwing it by them. He was in complete control today. The way he mixes, the way he uses all of the pitches, and the live, the action, everything.
Dave?
A couple of guys had said this 10-game stretch was going to feel like playoff games because of the level of competition and what's at stake. Has this series for you guys kind of felt like that? I mean, certainly it's the suspense and the way you guys have won.
Yeah, you're right. It feels like it's a playoff game. The atmosphere, you know who you're playing. I said it before the series started that we're not looking too far ahead. We just got to control the things that we need to control one day at a time, one series at a time. We did that. We won a big series. And here we are getting ready for a West Coast trip. We're playing another 2 really good teams, but we'll take it the same way. We got to concentrate on a good team on the Padres. They're playing well, but we'll be ready for it.
You've mentioned all along, Carlos, that you keep mentioning that, we'll find a way or we find a way to do things. What is it about this group that you think enables them to do that? Like you said, these past 2 wins, you guys let leads get away from you, and then you still came
they're
back.
hungry, relentless, and that's what it's all about, especially when you are at this time of the year when you're playing meaningful games. You have to find a way to get the job done. And it's pitch by pitch, at bat after at bat, making plays, executing pitches. And we did that today. We did that this past series. And we got to keep on going if we want to get to where we want to get. And I'm pretty confident that we got the guys, and they'll be up for all the challenges here.
Tim on the left.
Winker's hit some balls hard without probably the results that he wanted so far as a Met. What kind of confidence can he take from that kind of swing?
Yeah, huge. Like you said, he's been hitting some balls hard, and a couple of calls that probably not going his way. Maybe it's a ball that he's getting called strikes, and then he's behind in counts. But the good thing is what you're going to get out of him, and his quality at bat. So. But yeah, it's huge for him. It's huge for our team. You got 2 guys that needed that. The first day was with Alvarez. Now we're looking at Winker today because we're gonna need all of them. The 13 guys, position player wise, and you guys seen it the way that there's a rotation. Guys will come in, play defense, pinch run, pinch hitting, and I'm just glad that the guys are ready to go. Proud of them. They know their role and they know where we're at. So.
John?
Yeah, how valuable has Manaea been, and does it feel like he's getting a little bit stronger with 4 out of his last 5 starts being 7 innings plus?
Yeah, if he feels. Oh yeah, yes. And this is some of the things that when we're trying to make decisions in game in real time, like, man, he's been 7, and we'll send him back out for the 8th in regular rest. So there's a lot that goes into when we're making this decision. But he's been huge. You could say that whenever we need a big outing, he's continued to step up. He did it in St. Louis in a huge game that we needed there, and he will. He's today. To win a series against a pretty good lineup. Like, yes, he's up for the challenges, and he continues to show up and continues to give us a chance. And what a huge outing for him and for us. We needed that one.
Jerry.
Carlos, on Sean again. I know it's early. He's very efficient. There were a couple really nice plays behind him, I think, in the 5th and 6th. Are you starting to think this guy's got a shot at a no-hitter or even something better than that?
Yeah, it's hard not to think, especially when Vientos makes a hell of a play on a slow roller. He comes in one-handed and gets rid of the baseball. And then the ball up the middle, once he gets by Lindor, Iglesias makes that play. So you start thinking, we might be into something here. And then 2 out, nobody on base, and he hits Holiday. And then the next pitch, the game's tied. So, yeah, but to your point, I thought about it a little bit, but I didn't want to get too far ahead. And sure enough, we lost the lead.
Mark.
Carlos, what did you think of Budo in the 8th, where it really could have gotten out of hand there?
Yeah, I thought he did a hell of a job, especially after not getting a call that in real time, we thought the pitch was pretty close. So we're looking at 2 out, nobody on base because it's a strikeout thrown out. And before you know it, first and second, nobody out. Then he walks the next guy. But again, that's why he's been such a big part of that bullpen. His ability to slow the game down, to his ability to execute pitches, bases loaded, and got a pretty good hitter on O'Hearn. And he gets the strikeout. Then he's got another one on Rutschman. And, sac fly. And for him to just finish that inning against Holiday, not trying to be too fine, but at the same time trying to stay on the attack and execute pitches. It was pretty impressive because he could go out of his hands there, and he found a way. Huge outing for him.
Bill.
Could you take us inside the dugout when Winker hit the home run? Were you talking to the pitching coach like you were?
No, I was not. No, we knew who was coming in. No, I was just, win this pitch. Walk, just find a way to get on base. And, he puts that swing. And like I say, off the bat, I thought it was a double. And then when I saw the carry and that thing just kept on going, we just started shaking hands.